Hello, and welcome to Chapter 5, Company Description of the Successful Business Plan, Secrets to Strategies, 8th edition from Rhonda Abrams. Costco's mission statement is you look here at Costco's mission statement really clearly to continuously provide our members with quality goods and services at the lowest possible prices. As you read this mission statement and other mission statements from other companies, you can go online and find those mission statements. You have to consider this as your mission statement as to what type of mission statement is your company going to have. You know, one of the most important parts of a company description is having a mission statement. So as you're building out your company, as you're writing this business plan, it's important to have a mission statement. Again, you can go find other mission statements online. But make sure the mission statement falls for what you're doing for your company. One of the things about we're going to look at this chapter as the company description is that you really have to convey the basics of your business. Things like the company name, the mission statement or the company's objectives, legal issues, the products and services, who's part of the leadership, location, and then the milestones to achieve and the financial status. The reason most businesses fail is that they don't understand the business they are in. It's with today's technology, it's not that difficult to find the information. It's just that you have to know where to look for the information. So if you're a university student, one of the best ways to start to find the resources is go to your university or college library. Ask for who the business librarian is. Typically, almost every university and college library have a business librarian or a librarian who focuses on the business field, and they could provide you with the right resources and the right websites to look for particular information. One of the very important things is to develop the company name, right? The company name is one of the most important parts to for your company. One of the things I first suggest is to Google or go on a search engine and Google the name that you're thinking about. There are plenty of websites out there too as well that can help you create names for a business. But one of the first things is to type in the name that you're thinking about having a business, because the last thing you want to do is draw up this business plan with the particular name of a business only to find out that somebody else is using that name or it's already copywritten. So before you go off with a name, go on Google, make sure no one's taking it, and also go to the U.S. Patent Office to look at the copyrights and see if anybody has copywritten or trademarked that. If they trademarked that particular, not copywritten, but trademarked that particular company name. And you also don't want to you don't want to have a business name that associates with another business name. Like you don't want to have a name like if you're going to come up with a company that sells drinks, you don't want to have a company name that sounds like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, because those companies may sue you because you're basically their name is very similar. So you don't want, and you're going to confuse the consumer. So be very careful at the type of name that you name your company. Here are some ways. You have your company name incorporated, or you're doing business as. If you ever seen DBA, that's doing business as. So there's some people who have Butter Pants LLC doing business as Butter Pants Pancake House, right? I'm just kind of saying things like that, but that's how it would sound. Or the brand name, you think about brand names like Hugo Boss, Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, right? That's a brand name. A model name, Atomic Hot Sauce. It could be a name for a particular product. Subsidiary company, right? Some companies have a subsidiary with themselves. And the domain name. One of the things too about domain names, and again, you can easily do this. When you have a company name, if you go on Google and you say, okay, my name is not associated with another company, or no one's taking that company name, and you look at the trademark office, no one's taking that name, go and type in your business name like www. whatever your company name is .com and see if that domain is still available. So the last thing you want again is like someone else has taken your domain name. Some people will sell you the domain name, but that's going to be pretty pricey. So again, the first thing you want to do is look up the business name online in a search engine, see if nobody has taken it. Go to the trademark office, see if it's not trademarked or someone else has trademarked that name. After you select those two things off, make sure it doesn't associate closely with another company, big conglomerate name, and then go and see if no one's taken the website, like your company's name's website, right? Those are the things you want to do before you fully go off on a particular company name. When you come up with the company's objective or statement of mission, that's something, again, you don't have to spend too much time. I think one of the things you'll see in the book on pages 72, 73, you can have there's a resource or worksheet that helps you outline your company's objectives or your mission statement. You basically, a mission statement is just what does your company stand for? What does it do? That's basically what it is. Don't spend a considerable amount of time coming up with the mission statement. Just keep it very simple. And what is it that you do, and what is it that you plan to do as a company? Legal issues. This is one of the things in the book. You have various types of things. You could start off as a sole proprietor or an LLC. One of the things I would say, when you form yourself as a company, one of the easiest ways to form yourself as a limited liability company, an LLC, in your particular state. Some people actually register. They may reside in the state of Illinois, and they may establish the LLC in a different state. They'll just have to have an agent that associated with that particular state you're registering the LLC. You can do that. But usually people, when they start an LLC, they start in the state that reside. But, in my experiences, one of the easiest things you could do is start off your company as a limited liability company. I would not suggest starting as a sole proprietor because of the legalities, and a lot of legal issues can happen. You could easily be sued, as a sole proprietor. LLC, you have a little bit of protection more than a sole proprietorship, but of course you'll have to get business insurance. If you're going to start up like a C corporation or B corporation, hold off until later on. But I would first start off as a limited liability company. You can find resources online to register you as a limited liability company. Again, before you go through all the legal forms to set up yourself as a legal company, again, make sure that name of your company is not registered by someone else or trademarked, or someone else has taken that, because you want to make sure that you go through the legalities of owning that name in the legal form. Your ownership, of course, who is part of this company as a single LLC, you have 100% ownership. If you're going to partnership with somebody else, you're going to have to figure out how much partnership there is. Intellectual property, right? Trademarks, patents, copyrights. Trademarks is the company name, or if you're going to go by a slogan, you trademark that. Copyrights, if you have music coming out or art or books, right? You copyright that. The copyright process and the trademark process takes a little bit of while. Patents, of course, if you're going to patent a certain product or a process, patents take a while to do, and you will definitely have to get an attorney involved for a patent to do that. And so there's a lot of things you'll have to do legally to protect your intellectual property. Loans, leases, or obligations, again, all these various things that you'll have to do for to do. And on page, when it comes to types of legal forms and things like that, the types of way that you want to set yourself as a company, page 74 and 75 actually has a great layout on the types of legal forms and what it is, the advantages and disadvantages, and the tax treatments and what to watch out for. Again, just make sure that when you form yourself, make sure you really take a look at as to which way you want to go. But in my experiences, to start off with LLC is probably the best one to go with, in my opinion. But again, it would be up to what you want to do. In regards to, again, loans, leases, or obligations, be very careful how much loan money you take out. One of the best ways to start your company is bootstrapping, using your own money at first, before you go out and get any loans or leases and get every agreement. I will say, if you do decide to establish a partnership with another individual or group of individuals, make sure you get everything in writing at the very beginning. Do not wait later. Things in your company will go a lot much more easier if you have a partnership, if things are written down before money gets involved. Once money gets involved and there's no written contract, things can get shady and people can fall off. So make sure you get everything in written documentation if you have a partnership at the very beginning. Don't wait until the end. Global legal issues. This is really mostly for companies once they become big conglomerates. At the very beginning, unless you're going to do like international trade, you might want to get an attorney involved to talk about all these various global legal issues. But if you're exporting or shipping things to different countries, you'll definitely want to know about the import-export laws and tariffs. That's going to be very important. All the tax issues that goes on with that. What happens to your intellectual property protections? The United States has pretty good intellectual property protections, but that might not be the case in other countries. So when you're doing business in other countries, you have to understand what are the laws that protect you there as a foreign entity in that particular country. So be very careful. You have to very read up on what's going on with those type of things. Products and services, what type of products and services are you offering? Unique features, innovations. Avoid disclosing any sensitive information that your product or service may have. So be very careful on that. The management and leadership, that is a very important part that you want to keep for your company in regards to the management. At the very beginning, you may list yourself if you're going to have any, as your CEO or as a founder. If you're going to have key members such as a board of directors or an advisory board, I do suggest starting off with an advisory board. Just people who advise you on issues or topics, and maybe set up some meetings. Board of directors is probably later on if you're going to establish a corporation, or if you have a nonprofit, you'll definitely have to have a board if you're going to have a nonprofit. But right now, your management and leadership, list yourself as a CEO, founder, and then have the people who are going to be part of your company, what type of leadership role they have. Location, where is your kind of company could be headquartered. A lot of companies, when they start off in their own home. There are companies out there who can actually let you rent out their address. You can establish a mailbox, a business address, so you don't have to give your home location when you're doing business and people mailing you things for business. And actually, the United States Postal Service office has P.O. boxes. So I would suggest when you're starting off, if you're starting a business and you're working from home at first, get a business P.O. box from the U.S. Postal Service or UPS. So that way you can have your business mail go to a particular office, a P.O. box, or a different location. Also, there's other businesses that offer business services in terms of, you can rent out their address, or if you're gonna have a particular business that's have a location. Where is the company location going to be? Where the headquarters? Location. So it's very important where you're going to be in terms of your business. Milestones. Make sure you have milestones today. So when you start your business, what are the milestones you're going to reach every single, perhaps week, month, quarterly, yearly? What are the milestones you plan to achieve? Not only you to achieve, but the people in your company. Milestones are very important too. If you're gonna have people associated with your company, especially partners or people who go into business with you, who like, hey, I want to be your chief operations officer, or I want to work with your startup. And then like, well, I want ownership in the company. I think it's very important to have milestones for them to reach in order to even get ownership of the company. So make sure you have milestones to date to make sure that you reach those milestones. And of course, financial status. What type of sources of funds are you going to have? I will say, talking about legal status, and on page 76 has a really good outline ways of the legalization, the legal paperwork. And of course, as you look on the financial status of your company, what present sources of funds are you getting? Are you getting any loans or investment received? Are you getting angel investment? And how much money are you seeking? Right, it's very important to understand how much money is it that you intend to seek for your company. So that is chapter 5. Company description from the Successful Business Plan, Secrets and Strategies, 8th edition from Rhonda Abrams. Thank you.